Welcome back, everyone, to the DreamHack Open featuring Fortnite, where we are in day 2 here. That means that we got the semifinals and grand finals for the European competition. Yesterday, we had some amazing Fortnite plays. Levin, you were able to cast the first heat of the day. What was the highlight for you in heat number 1?
The highlight. You know, I'd say the whole thing was a highlight in the sense of it was so exciting to see, you know, our first return to a big duo competition and just seeing so many players coming out and just fragging hard. Like, we were seeing 30 bombs, 40 bombs, it was starting to get a bit crazy. And, you know, they kept up the pace for a lot of the competition. So it was just amazing to watch all of the fragging yesterday.
Off on that, the fact that we got a 43 bomb from Hen and Duck on top, and they didn't even qualify through heat 1, and they did it all again through heat 2, I think might have been one of the most surprising things about yesterday. Sancho, you got to cast heat number 2, and it's going to be the same question to you. Was there really a standout moment to you yesterday?
I would have to definitely say seeing so many NA going into EU and actually doing really well. I think we have over 20 NA East duos just in the semifinals. It was really impressive just to see all that unfold. And I think one of the biggest things for me was seeing some new faces that I haven't seen before. So we're talking about Focus's Danny and Heretics Piera. They did really well coming from the Spaniard side of things. So it was really cool seeing that team on the broadcast and actually qualify. So that's very exciting when we get to watch that story go from not qualifying to a couple clutch moments to getting into the semifinals. That's really cool.
Yeah, based off of what you said, we did see a lot of North American teams. Bugha, of course, the world champ that we love to talk about, was one of those teams that qualified. And then Re and DFabs qualified. Woo! They got 94 eliminations, the most out of everyone, but they placed 83rd. So an interesting performance from those players.
Kelly, I gotta ask Levin, you nervous? Is there a little nervous of an NA squad from even the West qualifying? I know you repping EU hard. I'm just saying, man.
Let me tell you something right
Hit me with it.
There is nothing to worry about. I don't want to hear it. A couple of these NA players decide they want to play, so now it's all like, are we worried? Come on, we do this on a regular. We've been doing this for more than a year now. It's at least you guys now know what it feels like to have some decent placements on these.
Wow. Woo. All right. Well, things
Spicy.
are heating up here right now, and things definitely heated up yesterday. I don't even know if that's a word. But if you guys missed all of the action yesterday for heats 1 and 2, here's a quick recap for you.
The Slurpee swamp, and still they're moving forward. 4 people left. It's a 2v2, it looks like. Does the high ground duo know? Kind of. Slurps? No, Chuck splashes, they're there. Blake pops a few, goes towards the right. Reverse goes towards the left. Has a flopper, pops it down. He's on ultimate low. Blake is still trying to fight. Reverse is trying to beam down 2 sides of pressure, but Blake goes down. Reverse gets 1. Reverse with the 2, and what a clutch. Tree in the way. We saw a tree knocked down before. It went bad for height after that. Will that pattern repeat, or can Splashy break it? No water in sight. Natural low ground, another 55. No crack just yet still. He's looking for the next shot. One more. He gets the drag scope shot, and the man goes down to Storm. Splashy with the clutch. See what happens next. They get slow. All the mats down now.
He needs to force the issue here. Can't keep waiting it out. Oh my god, wait.
What?
No.
So does take him out. I'm not sure if he landed that last bump on height.
Some incredible plays that we got to see yesterday, and I do of course want to shout out our first place winners, iDrop and Indrita from heat number 1. We actually got to have an interview with them, so thank you guys for joining us after that. And then Demon Drip and Wamba Bomba were the first place winners out of heat. I know Wamba Bomba is a good name right there.
Good one.
But we gotta talk about what we saw yesterday and what we're expecting. So let's actually pull up the top 10 leaderboard for heat number 1. And obviously, I just said who was in first place right there. It was iDrop and Indrita with 672 points right there. 5 victory royales overall, the most that we've seen out of any team from both heats. And even more impressive is that 4 of those victory royales were back-to-back.
Yeah, it's incredibly impressive what they were able to do yesterday. They clearly have something figured out, right? They understand how to play duos this season, and hopefully we can see them continue that stretch, right? Obviously, like Sancho said earlier, 2 players who have been around for a long time, and I think it's important for these two that like they find a good run of form and get that consistency, because they've always just gonna been on the outside of like the top elite EU players. And so getting that confidence to kind of step in and really mix in with all of the top players is going to be important for their success, even moving forward as a duo.
Yeah, some of the other big, I mean, there's a lot of big names that qualified through heat number 1 here, and you guys can obviously see it. We got Floki and Deceptos. Obviously, Kezix and Grizzy are up in second place right there. We've got Snappy and Michael FNR in the bottom. Refsguard as well as representing his team. We have players like Benji Fishy and Mr. Savage that qualified through 18th place, and a lot of other big names because 250 teams qualified through heat 1. And they qualified through heat number 2 as well. The top team from heat number 2 was Demon Drip and Wamba Bamba with 636 points, but tied with points, Leon Flares and Tommy Z, or Toms, in second place. We got Pink and Virox in third, 6.2Y and 6.2X in fourth. Most interesting team, I think. And then Munch and Pablo was in fifth.
It's so cool to see these leaderboards filled with a lot of the FNCS trios kind of competitors. They're all over the boards, especially in Heat 1, but in Heat 2, they're here as well. One of the things, like I mentioned at the very beginning, is the NA East. The invasion is on, and look, at number 9, it's Kanata and Macwood being represented from TSM. So, hey, I'm just saying, I know historically the NA teams tend to fall off when it gets to this kind of stage because the lobbies get a little bit more stacked, but it's so exciting. But hey, don't forget about Carrot and Louie. They are a very strong duo coming from the FNCS trios. Are combining forces, and that's going to be the theme throughout the entire day. The people that coming from the FNCS trios, which I casted over, kind of see who melds really well in the duo format. And I'm very excited because already we had Thomas HD and Tayson kind of joining forces, and they did really well in the Amar kind of invitational. And we haven't brought that up. Shout outs to Amar, the watch party king, making it through the semifinals. And hey, that's really awesome. Like, what was it, Levin? The Razamir? Is that what he likes to say? The Razamir action? Hey, I'm excited to see if Amar could kind of get it to the grand finals.
Yeah, we only have 50 teams moving forward into the grand finals later today, Chad. So this is going to be highly contentious. Only 10% of the teams are going to be moving forward. But before we move forward, let's look back a little bit because we got to look at the drawing board, gentlemen. We got to see where you think all of the action is going to be taking place, because honestly, I think that there was a lot of surprises yesterday with drop spots and POIs.
Levin, my guy, this is going to be so exciting to kind of look at. Now, yes, we've all been talking about Stark and we all talking about Doom's Domain, but throughout the entire FNCS competitive, I would like to echo Monster D-Face. We saw a lot of action along this little triangle. That triangle is a heavy rotation, especially from teams coming from Dirty Docks, teams coming from Lazy Lake. It's just all of a sudden they love to rotate through this area simply because we saw a lot of teams, especially in the heats, do a lot of dead side rotations, these northern type of rotations, and we'll see all the action kind of unfold in these type of areas, and mainly in this deadly triangle here in Weeping Woods, Levin.
Yeah, I think for me, what I'm really looking forward to seeing today is these two areas here, right, where you have rift spots here. The Misty teams, how they interact with the rift, and teams who have like sort of shanty drops in these kind of areas, right? Players who, you know, sort of loot around this area of the map, right, and how they interact with Holly. I think it's going to be really tough because where you have duos, right, there's more, you know, different parties kind of trying to fight for these drop spots. And of course, like you said, Dooms and Stark are what we always talk about. Those teams, the top teams that land there are usually fine, right? They find their way to make themselves, you know, successful in those spots. But the teams that kind of land in some of these split drops, how do they, you know, sort of manage and really find their way around the map is going to be really interesting to me.
One more thing before we leave this stream, this drawing board, I want to show Sweaty Sands and Steamy Stacks. I don't know why, but that's where champions are born in the E region. So we'll see how it happens.
Real quick, I also want to shout out Honey and Minnie, who was our interview for heat number 2, and they said that although they had a confident drop spot, that they actually shifted it around depending on how they performed in their last game. So I'm expecting that we're going to be seeing that a lot as well, because this is duos. We haven't had an official duos tournament in a long time, so drop spots may not be set in stone. But everyone, the game is ready to go. I'm not even going to talk about the tournament structure. I'm not even going to talk about what they expect, because we know what to expect. We expect some games starting right after this break, everyone. Don't go anywhere.